Hello and welcome to this session today on working with DataStax Astra, DevOps and Data APIs with Ansible. My name is Madhavan Sridharan and I am a Senior Solutions Architect with DataStax. Let's go right into it. Today, we'll be seeing how using a single Ansible playbook that will execute to perform the, the list of activities that are displayed on the screen. All it takes is to set up a service account in our Astra and then supply it with a couple additional parameters for the name of the database that we want to create, the key space name, and then of course table name, and then you will get it going. Let's go into the Astra Console. Here is the Astra Console, and I have a variety of choices to create a database in here. And as we all know, DataStax provides a free forever tier without requiring to enter any payment information. As you can see, I don't have any credit cards or any payment information stored in my account, and I will have the choice to create my free tier database. We also have other options like dev and test database, production workloads, high density production workloads, and we have a choice of cloud provider to choose from. For today's demo, we will use the Ansible playbook to create a free tier database. So for first, first we need to create a service account in here. So for creating one, all you go into your Astra console under your designated organizations or your default organization, and then create a service account at the bottom. So what we want for this is go ahead and then copy the credential from our service account, and then we will use that in our playbook. As you're seeing here on the screen, I have my playbook set up in here, and I'm using the copied service account credentials. It has client ID, client secret, and then the client name. And I'm giving a name for me as to database, and I'm giving a key space name, and I'm choosing my cloud provider, which is GCP. I'm choosing the tier, developer tier is the free tier database, which is going to have a capacity unit of 1. And I'm choosing my region, which is US East 1. And I'm also choosing a username for my Astra database. If you don't supply these additional variables, the playbook will interactively request the information from us. So right now I've supplied it in here for making it easier, but I left the password in there. So it's going to ask me for a password. Once I supply my password, boom, there you go. As we discussed, it is going to perform a set of operations that we see on the earlier thing. It's going to create the Astra database for me. So what it did earlier was it listed all the available regions and then the tiers that are available. We are just leveraging the developer tier in here. But as you can see, there are like additional cloud providers, AWS, Azure, and GCP with various tiers. Like for example, in here, this is a D40 tier, which is having 48 vCPUs, 192 gig DRAM, and 1500 gig storage space on Azure and in East US region. Similarly, we have a variety of regions that Astra supports out of the box. So what it is doing right now is creating the Astra database, and we have our database created. And then after each action, I'm also going to print a debug information. I'm finding the created Astra database using the ID. As we saw, it created the key space that we requested it for. And then it is also creating a token. So this token is required for doing a variety of data operations. So right now up until now, we were doing the DevOps operations for creating an AstraDB and for creating a key space, creating a table, and so on. We will be requiring an auth token for using the data API. So it created the table name. It's going to return all tables in the database, as you can see. And what we are also demonstrating is a couple other actions like trying to resize, which we are skipping here for the free tier. We will not be able to resize a free tier database in Astra. And we are going to park and unpark our database, which is going to take a couple minutes to park and unpark. So what I'm going to do here is I will go switch to my Astra Console to see my database. Astra is already created. It's a free tier database, $0 per hour and free for our capacity of 5 gigs. And here is my cluster ID. Here is the username that we supplied. And right now it is trying to do the parking. As you can see, it is also displaying the GCP as the provider and US East 1, which is what we supplied. And it has also gone ahead and then created a key space for me. There you go. I'll go ahead, pause for a couple minutes and then come back. Welcome back. Here we are with our Astra database in active status. Our Ansible job is already completed. We have our Astra database. We can get into the SQL console to see the key space that just got created using the Ansible as well as the table. We have our Astra key space. Let's describe it. There you go. We have the key space created. We also have our table created. There is also other things that one can do. We also have a load data set in here, wherein we provide with some data sets that are pre-baked. Let's say restaurant locations or movie and TV shows. Then you can pick and choose. Here is a layout for the preview and the data types. You can choose all the variety of SQL data types from in here. I'm just going to use the defaults in here for now. Pick your partition keys. Pick your clustering keys. There you go. Go for it. You get to pick your database. If you have multiple database in here, we just have one single free tier database in here. So there is only one here. And you get to pick a key space of choice since there is only one. And then once you enter your password, boom, there you go. What it does is the data loader is going to take the pre-made data set and then import that into our Astra database. Once it is completed, we will also get a notification similar to how we get notified whenever we create an Astra database or park it or unpark it or terminate it. Similarly, one will be notified of all these things. So here is a sample of an email that you will be getting in here. And there you go. You'll also be given a GitHub repository containing the Ansible playbook and the instructions and prerequisites for creating a service account and whatnot, and then the command to execute that. And there is also a number of resources that are available. This is just the beginning, and we have only scratched the surface. Go check out the documentation to see what are all the available APIs, because there is new APIs that are constantly being added. We have Stargate document APIs for dealing with namespaces, schemaless documents. There is also other APIs like REST for doing your schemas or data. And here are the ones that we just scratched today for operations as well as the data. We also have other APIs to do migration proxy and whatnot. So as I said, this is just a beginning, and we have numerous APIs that are lined up to come here. See you all next time with another. There you go. You'll also be given a GitHub repository containing the Ansible playbook and the instructions and prerequisites for creating a service account and whatnot, and then the command to execute that. And there is also a number of resources that are available. This is just the beginning, and we have only scratched the surface. Go check out the documentation to see what are all the available APIs, because there is new APIs that are constantly being added. We have Stargate document APIs for dealing with namespaces, schemaless documents. There is also other APIs like REST for doing your schemas or data. And here are the ones that we just scratched today for operations as well as the data. We also have other APIs to do migration proxy and whatnot. So as I said, this is just a beginning, and we have numerous APIs that are lined up to come here. See you all next time with another video. Please feel free to reach out to us for any questions or for any of your needs.